When the Allies occupied a defeated Germany in the spring of 1945, they shared a desire to mete out retribution to those members of the Nazi leadership and their minions who had brought so much suffering and destruction to the world during 5 long years of war. This need was felt particularly strongly by the Russians, who believed that they had suffered the most from the barbarous cruelty handed out by Hitler's forces in their crusade to subjugate the Slavic people and eradicate the blight of communism from Eastern Europe. The problem was that it was not so easy to identify the middle and lower-ranking Nazis once they had divested themselves of their uniforms, destroyed all incriminating documents, and melted into the chaos of a disintegrated society. In the ensuing confusion, justice was rough and ready, frequently dispensed without due process by battle-weary, sleep-deprived soldiers who were understandably unforgiving and disinclined to adhere to the Geneva Convention. It was not unknown for captured Nazi officers who calmly inquired where they would be billeted to be deliberately pointed in the direction of patrols with instructions to shoot enemy soldiers on sight. Senior Allied officers had devised their own way of distinguishing Nazi sympathizers from the general population. They were confident that if they were approached by civilian officials eager to assure their liberators that they had not been loyal Nazis, the officers could be sure that they had identified the very Nazis they were looking for and could promptly lock them up. Although Hitler, Himmler and Goebbels had all committed suicide in the final days of the war, and many senior-ranking SS officers had evaded justice via the so-called Vatican rat lines to South America, the Allies had some success in delivering formal justice to those they held responsible for waging aggressive war and for initiating crimes against humanity. They put 22 of the most notorious members of the Nazi leadership on public trial at Nuremberg in November 1945. Among them, Hermann Göring, Rudolf Hess, Joachim von Ribbentrop, and Albert Speer. Martin Bormann, Hitler's private secretary, was tried and found guilty in absentia. His fate was the subject of much speculation for almost 3 decades, until his remains were discovered not far from Hitler's Berlin bunker in 1972. And formally identified using genetic testing in 1998. The 23rd defendant, Robert Ley, had taken his own life before the trial began.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.